Ever wondered what truly separates the extraordinary from the ordinary? What if I told you the secret isn't just, innate talent, but actually a set of consistent learnable habits? Habits that anyone, including you, can cultivate. Well, to the deep dive. Today, we're not just scratching the surface. We're taking a proper deep dive into the specific, actionable habits that really distinguish high performers.
Yeah, and this isn't just interesting theory, right? This stuff really matters. Indeed.com, for example, they point out that high performers are the ones who consistently go above and beyond. They achieve their goals, they complete their tasks, are described as accountable, skilled, and able to get things done. But here's the kicker. Their disproportionate impact. One study actually found a massive 10% of productivity comes from just the top 1% of employees. And top performers, they're like 4 times as productive as the average worker. That's huge. That kind of output, well, it doesn't just happen by accident.
Absolutely not. So our mission today is really to cut through the noise and show you how they do it. We're looking at this powerful framework of 10 core habits. These were identified by high-performance coach Melo Kalarka. This guy's worked with everyone, Olympians, Fortune 500 execs. And then we're layering in these surprising practical hacks and insights, stuff from sources like Nido Designs, which is a creative studio that's looked into practical productivity, and also Indeed.com. The goal is to reveal not just what they do, but how they actually integrate these things into their daily lives, how they get those results. Okay, so let's unpack this. Our sources, they really point to this powerful framework of habits that define high performers. We can start with those identified by Melo Kalarka. And what's really fascinating, I think, is how these big habits are backed up by super specific actionable hacks from others. It gives us a kind of roadmap.
That's exactly right. These aren't just, vague ideas. They're foundational habits, things high performers consistently practice day in, day out. They almost become second nature. It's about designing your days for success, really.
Right. So first up, Kalarko emphasizes non-negotiable morning rituals. He says high performers have these consistent morning routines, things like exercise, maybe meditations, a healthy breakfast. And the key is they are truly non-negotiable. Everything else just has to fit around them. Because the saying, win the morning, win the day. It sets the stage.
And this is where the practical application really comes in. Nido Designs, they looked into how ordinary people become high performers, and they talk about the 5-4-3-2-1 morning hack. They observed the CEO, right, already dressed at 5 a.m., no hitting snooze, no just 5 more minutes. And the trick seems to be leveraging your brain's reward system. Like if something takes less than 2 minutes, you just do it immediately. So make the bed, tiny dopamine hit, sense of accomplishment, chug some water, wakes up the brain, open the blind signals the day started. It's all about building that momentum because, as they say, you don't need motivation when you have momentum. Those little wins add up.
It's amazing how those tiny, immediate actions can just bypass that wall of resistance, isn't it? It almost tricks your brain into getting going. It makes you wonder, how effectively could your morning routine set the tone if you designed it for momentum like that?
And once you've got that initial morning momentum going, what's next? Well, it's about steering that energy effectively. Which brings us nicely to habit number 2. Self-awareness. Kalarko really highlights this. Developing that deep understanding of your own strengths and weaknesses too is crucial, especially for continuous improvement, for adapting in today's world.
Yeah, and this ties in perfectly with what Indeed.com talks about. With high performers, accepting constructive criticism. It's one thing to say you're open to feedback, right? But these folks, they actually focus their energy on remembering the benefits of getting it. They ask engaging questions to really get it. And then, crucially, they make proactive steps and plans to act on the suggested improvements. They even express gratitude for it, seeing it as helpful, not, an attack. It's about being genuinely open to seeing where you can grow without letting your ego get in the way.
It really is. So just taking a moment, how honest are you really with yourself about areas for growth? Can you actually welcome feedback like that as a gift, knowing it helps you adjust course?
And that deep self-awareness, it feeds right into the third habit, regular goal setting. Kalarko notes that high performers, they set ambitious goals, sure, but achievable ones. Then they break them down into actual steps and they review them daily, to stay on track. It's not like a New Year's resolution you forget by February. It's constant.
Right. And Indeed.com backs this up. They list focuses on their goals as a key quality, meaning every daily action, every decision, it's centered on reaching those goals. It's about that constant alignment, making sure every step counts.
And Nido Designs gives us a really specific, powerful tactic here, the weekly review. It's like a Friday ritual. You take a moment, celebrate 3 wins from the week, which is great, trains your brain to see progress, then identify just one friction point to eliminate for next week. something that slowed you down. And finally, plan your top 3 priorities for Monday morning. The benefit they mention. No Sunday scaries, because you've already set yourself up.
Yeah, that's powerful because it's not just about the big, lofty goals, is it? It's the daily discipline, aligning those tiny actions. It's those small, consistent steps that build towards the big things, and it stops you feeling overwhelmed. Okay, number 4 on our list. This one's absolutely critical. Focus and discipline. Calarco really emphasizes this. High performers have this laser-like focus on their goals. They prioritize their time, their energy, they minimize distractions, and they're willing to make sacrifices. They really master their time because they know where the real impact comes from.
This is where those practical hacks really show their value, I think. Nito Designs introduces something called the Focused 90. Basically, working in 90-minute sprints. Then followed by 30 minutes of total rest. And they mean total, no screens, no scrolling. Apparently, it's based on our brain's natural ultradian rhythms, these cycles of alertness and rest. Working with those cycles can be incredibly effective. They mentioned someone finished a client project in like 3 focus blocks using this, a project that previously took 2 frazzled days.
Wow. And then there's the flip side, the stop doing list. High performers get that sometimes. You need to subtract before you add. Take things off your plate. This could be simple stuff like not checking email before noon, or saying no to meetings without a clear agenda, or just saying no to things that don't genuinely excite you or align with your goals. It's about carving out that focused space, protecting your energy and attention ruthlessly.
Yeah, that last one might be the hardest for some of us. Saying no. But it's about valuing your energy, isn't it? And then there's the 2-minute rule. This apparently came from a CEO's assistant. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, just do it immediately. Reply to that short email, hang up your coat, wash your coffee cup, whatever. Nito Design says the result is like 80% fewer, I'll do it later, ghosts haunting your brain. And it's not just about clearing tasks, it's an antidote to decision fatigue.
Exactly. Every little undone task uses up mental energy. Get rid of them instantly, you free up bandwidth.
Right. So thinking about your own day, what could you subtract to get more focus? What are those little 2-minute tasks you could just knock out right away? Free up that mental space.
Okay, 5th habit. Healthy self-care habits. High performers understand that prioritizing physical and mental health daily, it's non-negotiable. This isn't a luxury item, it's core to their performance.
Okay.
We're talking healthy eating, regular exercise, getting enough sleep, maybe practices like meditation or journaling, all supporting well-being.
The great practical example from Nito Designs is the body energy audit. It's just a quick checklist around 3 p.m. Have I moved recently? Am I hydrated? Do I maybe need some protein or just a short rest? The impact they reported was amazing. It fixed 3 p.m. energy crashes instantly. It's about being tuned in to what your body needs throughout the day, right? Fixing gips before they become crashes.
Absolutely. And Indeed.com backs this up. They note high performers find a healthy work-life balance. Quote, they get that this is crucial for sustainable routines and performance outcomes. Which means, yeah, they actually take their sick days, they schedule vacation. Indeed also lists positive personal behaviors like sleep, exercise, healthy meals as essential fuel for that sustained output.
Your physical well-being isn't separate from your performance. It fuels it. It's the absolute foundation. Everything else is built on top of that, allowing you to keep going. Okay, moving beyond just personal discipline, let's talk about navigating challenges. That brings us to habit 6, resilience and mental strength. Calarco emphasizes that high performers, they're really good at bouncing back quickly. From setbacks, from failures, they see challenges as learning opportunities. They keep a positive outlook, they persevere. It's not just physical training, it's training the mind to be strong, to bend, not break.
And Indeed.com highlights that high performers keep a positive demeanor even with tough tasks. They don't get stuck complaining. Instead, they focus on what needs to happen to overcome a challenge, which lines up perfectly with Indeed's employer survey finding adaptability, flexibility as a top attribute. It's about not letting tough situations derail you. You adapt, you move forward purposefully.
It's easy to talk about resilience, isn't it? But the real test is in those tough moments. How do you usually interrupt that negative self-talk cycle or pivot from seeing something as a failure to seeing it as a lesson?
Good question. Okay, our 7th habit, continuous learning and development. High performers really get that learning is lifelong. It never stops. They actively seek out new knowledge, new skills, reading books, attending seminars, taking courses, whatever it takes. Staying ahead, ensuring personal growth. They know the world changes, so they have to change too.
And Indeed.com totally confirms this. They say top performers look for professional growth opportunities. That means finding mentors, reading industry stuff, webinars, certificates, workshops, asking for feedback. Indeed's employer survey also flagged intellectual curiosity as key. They're always seeking more knowledge, not just collecting facts, but expanding what they can do.
And Nido Designs has a clever little hack for this too, called the input-output ratio. It's about being strategic with your media consumption. Like for every hour you spend aimlessly scrolling social media, consciously allocate maybe 30 minutes to reading a book or an educational article. Or for every TV show binge session, watch one skill-building video. It's about being deliberate, making sure your input actually fuels your growth, not just distracts you.
Yeah, it's not just about consuming more info, but being really deliberate about what you let in, ensuring it contributes. A powerful filter. Okay, coming at number 8 is accountability and courage. Calarco really stresses this. High performers take full responsibility for their actions, for the outcomes. They hold themselves accountable. They have the courage to make tough calls. And importantly, they own their mistakes and learn from them. They don't hide. They're also okay with being held accountable by others' mentors, team members. It's about ownership, plain and simple.
Indeed.com echoes this strongly. They note high performers often act like a leader, even without the official title. They set a good example. They take an interest in others' success, offer guidance graciously. They also show consistent effort. They're reliable, always giving their best. And this matches Indeed's employer survey, which lists ownership as a key attribute. It's about stepping up, taking charge of your responsibilities, whatever your role. So maybe think about it. If a project goes sideways, how do you tend to respond? Do you look for someone else to blame? Or do you step up, own your part, and focus on the solution? 9th habit. Mindfulness and mental preparation. Calarco points out that high performers, kind of like athletes, use techniques like visualization, positive self-talk, mindfulness exercises, things to stay focused and calm, especially when the pressure's on. They often have these pre-performance rituals, to get into the right headspace, proactively managing their mental state.
And Nido Designs gives us a fantastic concrete example of this, the shutdown ritual. At the end of the workday, high performers often do this. Write down tomorrow's top 3 tasks that kind of preloads your focus. Then consciously close all the tabs, all the apps on the computer. Physical closure leads to mental closure, and some even say done out loud. Apparently, it signals the brain, workday over, time to rest. The result they found. People fall asleep faster, wake up feeling clearer. It's a deliberate transition out of work mode.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How intentionally do you transition from work to rest? Are you truly signaling to your brain that it's time off, or are you kind of bringing the office stress home with you?
Right. And finally, we get to the 10th habit, arguably the most crucial one, the glue that holds it all together. Consistency. Calarco says high performers have this disciplined approach to all their good habits and practices. They understand that without consistency, even the best habit doesn't give long-term benefits. Success, for them, comes from that hard work and dedication applied consistently over time. It's that relentless, day-in, day-out application that turns potential into actual results.
And Indeed.com highlights that quality of showing consistent effort. It underscores that top performers are reliable. They maintain a well-developed work routine. It's not about being perfect every single day. Nobody is. It's about the relentless, sustained application of these habits, even when it feels hard. Just showing up again and again.
Yeah, it's one thing to have a great day, hit peak performance once in a while. But sustained high performance, the kind that really sets people apart, drives that disproportionate impact we talked about. It relies entirely on this final, crucial habit of consistency. It's like compound interest for your effort.
So, there you have it. 10 core habits that distinguish high performers. Broken down with, hopefully, some actionable insights you can start using today. Remember, high performance isn't just for CEOs or elite athletes or whatever. It's really a learnable set of behaviors and habits. Anyone can cultivate them. You're probably closer than you think to unlocking your own potential.
Indeed. And if high performers really are that much more productive and they shape the culture around them, it raises an important question for you listening right now. What's one small, consistent habit you can integrate into your routine this week, just to begin that journey towards higher performance, greater impact? Could be as simple as drinking that glass of water first thing, or using that 2-minute rule for emails, something small. Great thought to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep digging.